Welcome to this look at a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. We're here on Griffin, Indiana 22. This is a ported over map from FS19 by AJ Farmer. This is a complete rebuild of the previous map. The previous map was good, don't get me wrong, it was very good. There was all the, well, it wasn't controversy, but over the slot count, because the slot count was really, really low. And even with the update to it, it was still very low. But anyway, complete rebuild, all production chain stuff, there's coins to collect. And I have to say, top quality stuff, as the previous version was, just absolutely brilliant. So we're going to have a whiz round and a look. 188.66 megabytes to download the map. Looks like this. On New Farmer, we start with these three plots up the top. Field 35, a grass-filled area, the main farm area, and a little bit of field around it, which is very nice. Field prices, up the top where all the woodland is for forestry, it's split up into nice chunks and they range in sizes as well. So, you know, you've got some affordable little bits there, like 40 grand, and then kind of building your way up. So if you want to do forestry, start off small, gradually build your way up, or you just only want to do a little bit of forestry, you can. If you don't want to touch forestry, you don't have to. But you can also buy these plots and you can clear the trees off using various different mulches and things like that if you want to. There are some fields to the north of the map. This is all kind of raised area, and you come down into the town area. And as we come further south, we come further to the bigger, more expensive fields. 1.3 million, 1.9 million, you know, you can kind of gradually work your way through, taking over the town as you go, which is rather cool. But what we also have, which I think is brilliant, if we just click back off that again, we've got all the various different sale points and things we're going to have a look at as we go around. But we've got loads of plots here that you can buy up. And a lot of the plots have barns and things on them. Once you've bought the plot, you can keep the barn, sell the barn, do whatever you want to do. It's entirely up to you. There's also, it does say 8. I don't know if I've found 8 yet. 8 auxiliary farms with all barns individually sellable and fences removable. I know there's definitely a farm there. There's definitely a farm there. There's one there, I think. So these are all plots that you could use if you're playing multiplayer or you want to gradually pick them up and go. We'll see as we go around. I'm going to have to put some money in just so I can buy those plots and show you as we go. But there's all these plots around here. What's really cool is right here, I don't know if you can see that, there's a motel there. You can buy that plot right there at the motel. Now, that for storyline purposes, if you want to put a placeable mat or something down, you know, like a doormat, so you could start off by you've moved in and you're staying at the motel while you build things up, which is a brilliant idea. And all up here at the campsite, which we'll get to later, there's a couple of plots up here as well at the campsite. So you can place, I know the Hobo Farms pack by Omatana has got tents. A few different people have modded tents, and there's sleeping bags and pillows and all sorts of stuff. So you can buy a couple of plots up there at the campsite, which again I think is brilliant. Now I mentioned coins. There are 100 gold coins to collect, and there's a storyline that goes with this. The previous version, there had been sightings of Bigfoot wandering through the woods. Now it does say Bigfoot has apparently pulled up stakes and moved on, as there have not been any sightings or howls in months. The locals think that during his stay he would take valuable coins from them and drop them in random places. Due to the fact he lacked proper pockets, they believe he was doing this in frustration over the farming noise. If you find these golden coins, they will help you a little in your new farming endeavour. He also left a message with every one of them. Find them all for a nice reward, so keep your eyes open and happy farming. Cool. Now, bear in mind as well, Griffin, Indiana is a real-life town in southern Indiana in the USA. So it's a real place with real people, real feelings and lives. Oh, there's another farm down here as well. This plot down here, if you're going to buy this one, is 791,000. Now, with a lot of the farms, the extra farms you can buy, they come with a plot of land. And there's barns and building space. They don't come with sleep triggers. There are farmhouses on them, and I don't know if all the farmhouses, I don't think you can sell the farmhouses, but you can place sleep triggers and stuff around them as well if you wish. Contracts are available in the fields. If we scroll down to there, contracts are available around the fields, so you can pick up contracts if you choose to do so. There are no animal pens off the start. You don't start with any animal pens or any animals, but the whole point about this map is it's a sandbox environment. It's been done on purpose as most maps are done on purpose, they don't accidentally happen, but all the plots around the main town area that you can buy up. There's loads of flat areas, there's loads of places where you can put production chains in, that being another main reason for it. But also you can kind of build it as you go. It's an already ready to go map, but you can do more to it, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So I've taken the liberty of bringing the John Deere down. Now that's when you start the map, you will start right here, but this John Deere is up at the main farm. I've brought it down just for ease of getting around the map. So let's get round and have a look. We start on the right hand side with Uncle Pete's Diner. Sell point just there. Actually, if I got the let me just double check that I've got these on. So that on, that on, that on. There we go. So Uncle Pete's Diner sell point is just there. Grocery Mart, the sell point is around the back of the building. We've got the gas station, just the right hand side. So the left hand side we've got a toy shop. There aren't toys to collect, there are coins to collect, but there are toys in the window if you want to have a look. And then we've got the laundromat. You can go to the laundromat and that's your wardrobe. There's a wardrobe trigger there, so you can use the laundromat for the wardrobe trigger. The diner is across the road. Now I'm going to try something in just a second. We've got the Red Marble Bowling Restaurant sell point just there. This is one of those maps as well. What I find interesting is that this map, being that it's a real place, feels very realistic. Feels like I've only been to America a couple of times, but those kind of towns. Don't you think that Elm Creek feels a lot like this? I was going to say this feels a lot like Elm Creek, but this came before Elm Creek. So, I do wonder, was this part of the inspiration for Elm Creek? Because all these buildings, they just fit. It just works. It really, really works. Anyway, this plot here. Now, I don't know if this is going to work or not. There is a coin. There we go. There's a coin. Now, the coins are, I think, 500. Yeah. Each coin's 500. Now, let's go back onto there. We'll talk about slot count when we get up to the main farm area because that's where the vehicles and stuff are. But if we go to that point, I said about the plot. If we go into build mode, I have put in under farmhouses the Hobo Farm Pack, the doormat. Will it let me place it? Right. So that plot, because you can buy it outside that door, that's the point behind it. So I can put here at the motel a sleep trigger. So buying that little plot gives you that ability to, if you want to do a storyline that you're staying at the motel. Love that. Such a clever idea. It's really been thought out. So from here we're going to cut across. I was going to cut across someone's lawn, but I'm not going to now because when I went round it to check the map out, I did it on foot. So most of these plots are buyable. Like I say, you can put production chains on them, barns, buildings. It's very cool. But if we continue up here, a lot of these have got pools in the garden as well. Very fancy it. On the right hand side we've got the machinery store, vehicle store with the workshop trigger around behind. This is also the reset point, so if you need to reset anything, that's where this will happen. So your vehicle workshop trigger is just there, your buy point is just there. Now I know I've mentioned that a lot and some people have said why do you even bother showing it, because you can just go in from the menu and go to buy stuff. You can, but some people prefer to do the more interactive, they come to the actual place to do it. That's there, so I'm going to show it. Right, now across the road here we have got, check my map, we've got the GW grain elevator to the right hand side. That's a buy point. So if we go into this menu and go down here, if I scroll down until we get started, if I'm scrolling on the left but looking on the right for one that says GW grain elevator, there we go. So the buy points where they buy from you, I know it's weird, it's a buy point for you. But yeah, so you've got the points where you can sell your things. Those are those ones. So where it says buying, that's where they're buying from you. The selling points is where you're buying from. So as you can see there, we can buy canola from the GW grain elevator. Canola we can buy sunflower, soybean, corn. So there's a whole load of stuff. If you're ever unsure about it, if you find a buy point and you're wondering what it's for, come into this menu, into the prices, scroll down the various different things in the goods. On the right hand side, if it comes up on the right hand column, on the selling column, that's where you can buy it from. Now, yeah, it costs a lot more to buy it than you're going to make selling it. That's the kind of the point. You can buy it if you need to, but it's going to cost you more. That's sort of the point behind it. So that's that one there. Now on the left hand side, we've got our Grain West silo. So this is, as we've seen on any map where we have trains, this is a silo for storage or transfer. So you can transfer putting into the silos done here. Oh, another coin, spoiler alert. You can transfer into the train, which we're going to see in a minute over there. Or you can transfer from the train back and take it out. Or you can just use it as a silo. You can store stuff in it and then come and get it. As far as I'm aware, this takes regular train silo stuff, so regular grain types. I think it does wood chip, sugar beet potato, those things as well. So that's the transfer silo. We'll see the other side of it in just a moment. I'm going to do this side first, then we're going to go out that side. Like I say, because I did it on foot and then suddenly thought, actually, you know what I could do? I'll do it in the John Deere. So there's the other point there. So for loading or unloading from the train, with the train, you can do that there. This is nice as well, the train carriages and stuff that there. Then we've got Fair Dairy, production chain point, and behind the Fair Dairy there's there used to be buildings, and I can't remember what was here now, on the previous version, but we've got placeable area, again, for production chains, if you want to do it for a more industrial look, rather than having a production chain in someone's garden, which obviously maybe people are doing their little cottage industries. Now the railway itself is usable, and if you are going to use the train, sometimes you'll get a contract and it may tell you with the contract you've got to sell to Mount Vernon, Illinois. That's where the train goes to. So it comes in at the east, goes out at the west. We'll check the map and I'll show you what I mean. So we are now currently here. So the train comes in that side, goes all the way across, and it goes out that side to Mount Vernon, Illinois. So if you get a contract that says that, it means you've got to sell by train. As we go a bit further along, we're going to come to it in just a moment. Oh, yeah, we are. So this is the utility department. We've got a water point, biogas plant, but we've also got another buy point here. This is the utility department selling, which is a buy point. Again, if we go to here and have a look, until we go down to, we'll find utility on the right hand side. There you go, utility department. So we can buy seeds here. I think we could buy fertilizer. I'm trying to think what we could buy there. Under utility. there is other stuff. Seed. Oh, there you go. So we've got seed, solid fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, lime, herbicide. So this is a point for buying those things here at the utility department. Here we've got the rent train point. So if you want to rent the train, you can do it from here. Now I found it took quite a while. The train will come through. I don't know if we're going to get lucky while we're doing the map tour. I think every 15 minutes it says the train comes across. I'm sure it says, yeah, 15-minute train interval. So the train will come through every 15 minutes, but you can call the train. I did it while I was going around having a quick check on the map, and it took forever. It didn't seem to want to arrive. It said 1.9 miles, then or kilometers, then 1.7, then it went back to 2. But it should come through. But you can rent it from there, and then you can send your stuff off however you want to go about it. So there is a water point there. That's the utility department water point. But you can place water points anywhere you want, of course, as long as you own the land. We've got a debris crusher just over there on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we've got the biogas plant. This is a little bit pricey, I'm not going to lie. It's a 940,664 for the biogas plant. The only other downside I can see, you've got this massive open area here. You can't buy this plot. So this plot here, that's got the water, the department on it, and the biogas plant, you can't buy it. So all that space, you can't actually place anything on. I'm going to try something. I just want to make sure, just for my own sanity, that yeah, land is not owned by you. And also, you've only got that silage clamp, which means with all this space, you can't put any other extra silage clamps on here. But I mean, it's a minor thing, but it's just to point it out. Over the back here, we've got a biomethane charging point, and we've got an electricity point just over here in the corner. And I love this, the ramp up onto here. So for putting stuff onto the train, you can do it all here if you want to, so you can bring your goods here to load onto the train. I was really hoping we'd just get lucky and the train would come past. That's all this side. Continuing on. I love the view. I know I said this when I did this map tour on the previous version, but I guess it's always that weird thing. Is I don't know if it's just the wrong way around of thinking. Because you know it's a real place, your mind then says it feels so real. You know, I know it sounds ridiculous because it's a virtual map, but it feels real. But then I've been on loads of map tours where they've made up places and they feel very real and very genuine, not forced. It's a weird one, isn't it? I don't know which way around your mind kind of goes with it. Anyway, something I was going to show you. I'm going to need to put some money in, I think. Or maybe I won't. Oh, I will actually. Hang on. Bear with me just a second. There we go. This map allowed me to borrow a load of money from the bank. Sometimes you hit a limit about 600,000, but we've got 1.2 million. Done all right. If we go to the map, I'll show you what I mean. So we've come across here, we're now sitting here. So this plot here, we can buy, like any of these plots, we can buy any of these. Let's buy this one. And this one has got fencing around it, we've got a couple of barns on here. But once you've bought the plot, we go to landscaping and demolish. I can remove those if I want to. And that's the same with a lot of the plots as you go around. There's lots of barns and buildings that once you own the land you can. And as far as I'm aware, I think there's gates there, but the fencing can all be removed as well. It just gives you a bit of scope to do, you know, whatever you want to on it, which I think, is, like I say, it's a really nice touch. So, moving on, let's hop the fence and continue. We have got Larson's Livestock. We've got the animal dealer point. Just there. We've got Larson's Livestock, just there, and that's a point for you to sell. Then we've got a buy point, so this is Larson's Livestock buy point for buying manure. So you can buy manure from the livestock market. Continuing on, we come to Miller's Sawmill, production chain. Just in here. Lumber in. Wood chips, as the byproduct will come out, if once you own it of course. Your pallets will spawn there, your pallets of planks. Now, this is one of the, I already showed you on the map the farm right to the south that you can buy. Now this one and the other one I'm going to buy, I will show you. It's details like this that I really like. The level of detail, the culverts and the water and the grates over, and I say, Elm Creek, just, it looks fantastic. But this farm here, barns, silo, we've got a fermenting silo over there. The farmhouse doesn't have a sleep trigger, but you can add one on if you want to. Unfortunately, you can't get into that barn, which I thought, oh, I mean, it just looks incredible, it really does. But this plot here, once we buy it, 213,230. We get the trigger then come up for a flat bottom bin, 3609, and a fermenting silo. Now the flat bottom bin, that's a 1.1 million litre standard crop type. That's one of the ones you're going to need one of the big augers because it goes in from the top and out from the bottom. But 1.1 million litres. But once you've bought this plot, you can sell any of it. So if you want to get rid of it, I don't know if we can sell the farmhouse. I don't think we can. No, the farmhouse we can't, but if you wanted to, you can sell the barns and buildings around it. You can't sell that one. The fermenting silo you can sell if you wanted to, which is pretty cool. So this is, I think there's two farms that have got silos on them. This is one of them. But I like that, again, it's an option. If you wanted to come onto the map, buy all the plots, sell all the buildings and stuff on it and go real full start from scratch, you absolutely can. But again, you don't have to. If you're playing multiplayer, there's plenty of space and plenty of options for everyone to have a farm, and off you go. Great stuff. Right, continuing out of the town. I think I'll go this way. Well, I'm changing things on the fly here. This is going to get dangerous. Let's open the map at the bottom. No, actually, no, this might work. It's up the back of the town. Look, the next sell point, Johnston's Farmers Market on the right hand side. There's the Farmers Market, and the sell point for bringing produce is just there. So that's Johnston's Farmers Market sell point. Coming out of the town, I'm going to head left. There's this little farm area here. Well, I say farm area, it's a house, it's got a barn on it. Again, you can buy that plot, the gate's open, the gates will be sellable. If you wanted that plot, I kind of stopped. There's another one on the right hand side, and we're going to head right out to the west now, up to the campsite. I love it. The level of detail, the lighting, the texture palette, it works really well. The colour palette. We'll have a look at the mods put in. Like I said, when we do the slot count, we'll go up to the main farm, we'll talk about that. I normally do that at the start, but because I started away from the main farm, we will get to it. I will say now there are, what's the sound and details, 21 paintable textures, which is quite cool. And AJ modding, AJ Farming has put in a few mods, sheds and things like that. There's no vehicles, but there are a few sheds and a fermenting cellar that have been put in. So we're going right out to the west, and we're going to head up towards that lookout tower, watchtower. Up towards the campsite. I have to say, if you watch my Let's Plays, and I'm ignoring about a map, I do like this. Now I know I came off the Western Wilds and I did a very kind of American style on that, but I really do like this map. This could be the new map. Could be. So, campsite. Like I said, this is the one that's got a couple of plots. This has a sell point here for wood chips. This is the campsite sell point, it's just up here. There's loads of forestry to do around and stuff. So up here, we've come out of the main, we came up there. We've come all the way out here. We're now here. So there's a sell point, where are we? Sell point right around the back of that road, and there's one just over here. You can buy and put a tent on, or whatever you want to do. There's probably coins about. I'm not saying there are or aren't. You can probably climb the watchtower. Again, I would guess if it were me, there might be a coin up there. I mean, I don't know. Potentially. So that's the campsite. From here, we're actually going to cut through the woodland. We're going to head to the main farm. That's why I used this rather than pick up. I thought it would work a little bit better. Try not to run over any people that are out for nature hikes. That would be bad. Get a bad reputation in the local community. So, through the woodland. I'll follow this track. I don't know which one I want to follow. Let's go with that one. Might not take us exactly the right way, but we might get lucky. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. It's amazing. Oh, when you look at that. Perfect. Right, so we come out into the main farm area. So this is the main farm. I'm going to start over here because that's the order I did it in. This is usually parked when you start the map, when you start the game. This is parked in. Oh, it's parked and damaged. So when you start, I've already damaged it. Sorry, it's parked there. So we've got our main Sleep Trigger farmhouse. Is just up here with the pickup outside. So there's your Sleep Trigger point, just there. We've got a workshop trigger just in here with a lovely John Deere sat there. We've got a Farmer 400 silo. I think it's the Farmer 400. Did I write it down? Yes, it is. Farmer 400 silo. More barn space with more vehicles, machinery and equipment, which we're going to have a look at in just a second. We've got a fermented silo just there. Now, because I bought those other two plots, if I go down to our production chains, it's going to show 2 here. You don't start with 2. If you come onto a new farmer, you do start with this one. If you come onto a farm manager and start from scratch, you can buy the plot of land and all the buildings are here, so then you would get it, but you start with it on a new farmer. But because I bought that other plot that had it on, that's why that one's there as well. But we can do chaff, hay and grass silage, so we can produce that there, which is very nice indeed. Talking of that, as we go around, we've got the barn from Elm Creek. We can go down underneath as well. It does bring you out the back. So for storage and stuff like that, you can do that. All very lovely. The slot count on new farmer, and that's what you've been waiting for on console. You console guys out there have been waiting. 1,168 slots. Not too bad at all. If you come onto here on farm manager or start from scratch, the slot count comes down to 1,085. You don't have any of the vehicles, but you do still have all the buildings on the map. You know, once you buy the plots, then the icons will show. So if you come onto the map, let's go back down to there, on farm manager and start from scratch, none of these icons will be here because you don't own the land yet. This plot of land that the farm's on is 691,391. But, you know, if you've got money to do it, that's fine. If you haven't, you can build up to buying it, if that's something you want to do. But you can also then, if I go into build mode, go to landscape and demolish, we can sell all the various different buildings around the farm. I think we can even sell the sell point of the sleep trigger on here as well. Be warned. I got the slot count down to 1,050 just by selling all the buildings here. But obviously there's all the other plots that have got barns on. There's the 2 farm areas. There's another farm area we haven't got to yet. They've got silos on. You can probably get the slot count down lower than that. I didn't go any lower than that. I just got there. But beware, if you sell the buildings up here, it will look like this. Which is fine. But bearing in mind you're going to have a big crater here because of the pit there. You have a crater there because of the barn. You might just have to do a bit of landscaping, but it's just a warning. It's just, you know, just be aware that that may be the case. So that's the main farm area. Coming out of the main farm area, we've got fields to the north, grass areas. Fencing can all be removed around here as well because you own the plot of land. We can get rid of the fencing. So there's farms and stuff up there to the north. There's not. Just trying to think. No, there's no sell points up there. It's just some more fields and sell points, but you do start with that grass field on the new farm as well, which is quite handy. So what we're going to do is head down and back out, back past the top, the northern end of the farm, past the next farm point and on to the next sell points. So we're heading down into the big smoke. Well, it's not, it's a fairly small town, but you know, we're living up here, out in the wilds. I love that. I loved this the first time. Again, that separation between the farm and the town, it gives you that real feel that, you know, again, just from watching films, movies, TV series, all that kind of stuff, that thing of ranchers and people out in the countryside having to head into town to get stuff. It's got that feeling, that old, even going back to the old Wild West films, you know, heading into town because there's stuff you need, supplies you need to get, and it has that feel because you're up there, you know. I know that's not only this map, I know a lot of maps, but it's just other. So, next farm area. Now this is another one that's got a silo on. A big barn on here as well. This plot's not cheap though, but this has got another 3609 flat-bottomed grain bin, another 1.1 million litre. So if we look on the map again, we'll see that we're now here. That's not showing, the icon's not showing for it. That plot is 873,878, but you do get that field, all this plot area here, plus some woodlands up the top. So you kind of get a bit of everything on that. If we buy that and come down, you'll then see the icon appears for the flat-bottomed bin. You can get rid of it if you want to, you don't have to, but you could if you wanted to. Baseball stadium is just to the right. So we're now going out to the northeast. Taking, you see what I mean about being, I mean it's fairly flat. I mean there are some, you know, you've got the rise up there, you've got a few little sweeps, and you've got the various different culverts and drainage ditches and things like that. I do like the little oil pumping things everywhere, it's just great. But there's some big fields, so you can do small stuff, you can do big stuff. Some of the fields have got fencing around, but more to the northern part of the map. You can blend fields together, you know, a bit of everything. To our right, coming up, we've got the Spinnery. To our left, there's a little track, and this is odd. It's just, I don't know, interesting type. Follow this track up. Unfortunately, John Deere struggles a little bit with horsepower getting up here on steep inclines. Don't have to get on push. Got this little building up here. You can buy this plot, you can come up here. There's no sell point up here, but you can put a production chain up here. And we've got some more farmland up the top here as well, which is great. Water source. I'd say water source. I don't know if you can actually get water from it, but there's little details like that. Kind of come over the top and there's a little pond there. But that's got a very European feel to it, that building, hasn't it? I would say kind of early settlers, maybe a Dutch look to it, Germanic, I don't know. Yeah, it's what Germanic look to it. Anywho, back down from here and on to the last of the sell points and buy points. So coming up, we've got HH milling. So here's the grey mill. So you can buy it for under 39,000. It's a sell point, standard, so you can bring stuff here and sell. If you've got a contract, it may say to bring it to HH milling. So that is your grain mill. But then round the side here, let's get this right. We've got HH milling and then HH milling buy point. So that's where your pallets will spawn if you're doing flour. That's the sell point, HH milling. And this is the buy point for HH milling. So if we go back into this menu, down to here again, go up until we find HH milling, which should be the top stuff, I think. There we go. So we can buy wheat, barley, oats, sorghum. I think it's just those ones, actually, just the grain crop type things, which would make more sense. So on the right hand side there, HH milling. So not only can we sell here and use this as a grain mill, this is also a buy point. So if you want to buy things like wheat, barley, oats, sorghum, you can come here. Again, the price is a little bit elevated, but that's okay. That's the point. So that's the map. Let's go back up. We started all the way down here. Went all the way up through the town, went out to there, we went out to there, we then came up there and all the way out to the campsite. We then came across to the main farm area. Then from there we came down to that farm area, out to there, Spinnery, up to the top of the hill there, then out here to HH milling. And that's the map, Griffin, Indiana 22. It's a lovely map. Oh, that's what I didn't show you. I said about slot count before I finish, hang on. We jump out. We go to build mode. Mods that have been put in by the map maker. So we've got these old shed 1, old shed 2, old shed 3. Under silos? Under silos, out in the end we've got the fermenting silo, 100,000 to buy. There are 2 of those on the map. One you start with, one you can buy, depending on obviously if you own the land or not. I don't think, I think that's it as far as mods go in there. Yeah, even with farmhouses, I don't think... that hobo pack I put in there just to put the door format in. Animals, no. Productions is not anything. Decoration, no. No, there wasn't decoration either. Landscaping. Landscaping, like I said, there's 21, I think it said. Textures, including that kind of cobbled one. There's a paved one there. We've got some very different dirts, grass, dry patch grass. There's a whole load of those, but in textures as well. I nearly forgot to show those. Apologies. So, that's the map. I'm really, really torn now. I'm thinking I might be moving to Griffin, Indiana. We shall see. Anyway, I hope you found this useful and informative. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you choose to do. Thanks for watching.